Yes, it happened. We had our COVID-19 flash crash moment. This most recent crash got a lot of people entirely shaken out. That was the final step that got a lot of people now finally out of crypto. They have sold at the bottom. They're very angry right now, very frustrated, and they're calling death upon crypto, death upon altcoins specifically. And they believe that now everything is doomed and we are going down only. But let's do this one by one and actually look at the spookiness in the market right now. And that is number one, the Mt. Gox wallet. Mt. Gox was a crypto exchange in 2013-14 that got hacked, and now 10 years later is reimbursing or refunding the victims with their BTC that was stuck there now for over a decade. In the meantime, Bitcoin itself did over 100x in price appreciation versus the dollar, which number one is showcasing the best thing you can do in crypto is just hold for a decade at least. But also now all eyes are on this wallet because this is potentially a threat to tank the markets. And the second wallet that everybody's really scared about is the German government, the Bundeskriminalamt. We also made a video about it last week, and I also said that the market is going to heavily overreact. When it first became public that the German government is actually sending confiscated BTC that they got in January of this year, so only 6 months ago, from Movie 2K amongst others, and they were sending that over to Kraken to dump, that immediately tanked the markets because there was kind of unexpected sell pressure, and those were in the hundreds of millions, right? And we're seeing now that this continues to happen. 19 hours ago here, 700 BTC, and so on and so forth, 550 BTC here, 550 there. They keep selling, they keep sending this to Kraken and sell it on the open market, which obviously causes sell pressure. And looking at the US BTC spot ETF markets, we're seeing that this is not being absorbed right now in buy pressure from the ETFs. In fact, now only yesterday, we've seen a bit of a green candle after 2-3 weeks of just outflows and just 2 or 3 green lights on the horizon. Everything else has been contributing to that negative price development. And you can see pretty much here when Bitcoin was at 71,000 in early June, so just around a month ago, that since then the ETF flows have rather been negative in the hundreds of millions, accumulating to billions in outflows. And this paired with the Bundeskriminalamt selling off, while also now Mt. Gox starting to refund victims from their exchange hack. This is all causing now massive panic amongst the crypto community, especially those that are newer, right? But this is business as usual, right? This is nothing new. Mt. Gox has been on everyone's radar for 10 years. Now it's just happening and they're actually refunding people. Mt. Gox is not sending $8 billion on Binance and clicks market sell. This is just what some people might have in their minds, and the fear of that happening, or the fear of that thinking even, makes them sell, makes them panic sell, and that tanks the prices. So that is one big thing. Actually, Ran from Crypto Banter made a fantastic video yesterday about the whole Mt. Gox story, the whole process and phases of selling. This is actually a multi-month, a 4-month process of phase 1. Then there's a second phase. There's also going to be a lot of OTC selling involved, which also counts for the German government wallets, which is why I think, number one, this is a big overreaction to the market to the downside. And number two, this is now going to stop this selling, and that this is most likely now priced in. Obviously, there can always be another flash crash. I personally think that this is going to go down as the Mt. Gox flash crash of 2024, similar to in March 2020, we had the COVID-19 crash, which goes down in history. At the same time, like I said, Bitcoin spot ETF flows have been rather underwhelming over the past couple of weeks. This paired with a delay in the Ethereum spot ETF, which should have already been trading by now, but is now being delayed by a week or two. And once the Ethereum spot ETF starts trading, this is opening new liquidity gates and new buy pressure for ETH as an asset, which also brings more credibility and liquidity for the entire altcoin sector, because now these big funds, hedge funds, and these big ETF providers have to do their research and also the marketing for these assets, right? They're now going to start marketing Ethereum. And this is interesting to see. Ethereum itself went below $3,000 on this flash crash, and Bitcoin right now trading at 57. We're seeing slight recovery today. Obviously, you never know. This is after such a brutal crash, you always see a bit of a bounce, at least in the very, very short term, some sort of retrace. But we have to see if that was all or if there's more to come. But that's enough from the bad news and from what people are really panicking and scared about. But let's look at some bullish catalysts, right? And we're all in this for obviously the long term. We did our homework on the technology, on Bitcoin, on the implications on a philosophical layer, crypto separating money from state for the first time in history, like religion was separated from the state hundreds of years ago. We're now doing the same with money. We're seeing a technological revolution that is going to affect every single industry and every vertical under the sun, right? This is our basic premise of why we're so convinced and committed to crypto in the first place. But secondly, this year and next year is actually primed to be very, very bullish because we have a lot of bullish catalysts, including continued inflows from BTC ETFs, also the launch of the Ethereum ETF, a regulatory pivot, right? Also crypto being maybe one of the main decisive factors for this year's election, right? Which we also have coming up, the US election. We also have interest rates currently at all-time highs with the EU and Canada already decreasing, right? So we're also going to see a shift on interest rates. We're also seeing stock at all-time highs, gold close to all-time highs, stablecoin supply around all-time highs. Then we have some big news that just kind of went under everyone's radar. Nobody really paid a lot of attention to it, but it is Circle's compliance with MiCA. MiCA is basically a framework, a regulatory framework for stablecoins, and USDC by Circle and also their digital euro, are now fully compliant under MiCA's crypto law, which counts for the European Union. And this is a big milestone achievement because that also drives more credibility to the traditional financial sector and system, and is also serving as an on and off ramp in and out of crypto or volatile crypto assets like we know, right? So this is another big thing. We have Stripe integrating stablecoins, PayPal, which also I think people are not really paying any attention to it. That just PayPal launched a stablecoin on Ethereum and already has $405 million issued. We have BlackRock pushing for asset tokenization. The whole tokenization sector is going to massively pump and have a huge explosion over the next 6 to 12 months. We have newly issued altcoins down 80%, indicating a reset in valuations. Polymarket gaining traction beyond crypto natives. Blockchains finally starting to scale. We're also seeing now a lot of innovation, specifically from the Cosmos ecosystem, which I'm going to share with you in a second. And then also, obviously, this whole selling and this whole FUD and drama and people panicking and being scared about a few $1 billion that are getting sold on the market. This is coming to an end, right? And this will be over sooner than you think. And then we'll see a shift and a trend reversal, right? Looking more specifically into the Cosmos ecosystem, we're seeing Atom below $6. It actually went almost, I think, below $5. So we made new lows in since the 2022 bear market, since the Terra collapse, since the FTX collapse. We made new lows for Atom. But then there's also other Cosmos assets like Akash AKT that are still 12, 13x from their lows. And also retracing nicely today, 15%. We're seeing Axelar 20% up today. Some bounces here, Celestia 12%, $5.56. And if we sort by winners, we see Sommelier 31%, but this one got absolutely destroyed in recent weeks and months. Axelar up 18% as well, and so on and so forth. But this is just a recovery, just a bounce from this massive ugly dump that we've seen. And at this point, I also want to clarify that I personally also do not like these dumps. I do not like ugly bloodbaths like we've seen, especially with altcoins, right? I don't like these price levels. I don't like to see my portfolio going down only, right, for the past 4 or 5 months. But guess what? Like I said earlier, I'm so committed and convinced about my investment strategy, about Cosmos in the first place, about crypto as a whole industry, that I'm very confident that my philosophy, my investment thesis eventually is going to pay off, right? And I've done this for the past 7 years, and there's always new coins that you need to keep track of. You need to master the airdrop game. You need to always be on the ball. Crypto is a very, very fast and dynamic industry. You can't get married to your bags. There's a lot of things that factor in, right? But I'm always on the ball. I do my best to talk with a lot of the teams, founders, builders in the space, especially in Cosmos, obviously. And my thesis hasn't changed, right? I still am very, very bullish on the Cosmos, the interchain, and overall the IBC economy, right? And we're actually going to look into why that is, right? And there's a fantastic blog post from the Cosmos SDK account around the rise of rollups in the interchain, basically also stating that rollups are basically app chains, right? And we're now seeing a lot more customization, a lot more focus on sovereignty as a critical element and feature and characteristic of a blockchain, right? We're seeing sovereignty, we're seeing interoperability are big themes in crypto. We're also seeing now the whole question about time to market and cost efficiency as two big factors, which is also why rollups are getting a lot of adoption and buzz in the first place. And the actual honest truth is simply that Cosmos has always and is still one of the, if not the #1 most innovative technological environments in our entire industry. That's just what it is, right? Which is why also Ethereum builders are looking at a lot of the things that Cosmos has built, and they're adopting that. There are also other builders in other ecosystems that are trying to adopt also interoperability standards that are modeled on IBC. But so far, Cosmos with IBC, with the AppChain thesis, the Cosmos SDK is just winning, right? And we're seeing that because also new multi-billion-dollar chains are choosing the Cosmos SDK to launch, right? We've seen it with Celestia, with Saga. We're going to see it with Nillion. We're going to see it with Parachain, with Babylon, right? There's many multi-billion-dollar chains in the works. And also this affects every single category, every single sector, right? This affects AI and cloud compute. This affects gaming. This affects NFTs. This affects simply everything, right? Now, on another bright side, we just saw the launch of the Penumbra mainnet. This went very flawless, and the time between the airdrop window, the airdrop claim, and now mainnet launch was very smooth, very calm, and very coordinated, very well done. So kudos to the team, to all the validators. We're also honored with StakeCito to be in the Genesis set, and we only made that thanks to you guys, because you guys claimed and staked your airdrop with StakeCito. So this is amazing to see the strength and the power of the StakeCito community. So thank you so much for getting StakeCito into the active Penumbra validator set. We're actually ranked 6 or 7. We're quite high up there. And with the mainnet launch, they also announced the Penumbra tokenomics, of which 16% of the Genesis supply, which is 100 million tokens, is getting airdropped to the community. And yes, 16% might not sound like a big number, but it actually is a huge number, right? This is giving away potentially millions of dollars in free money to the active Cosmos community. And not only that, but also in a true Cosmos fashion, they're redistributing the unclaimed airdrop amount to those who claimed. So if you watched content here on CryptoCito or on StakeCito, what Winnie put out, all the tutorials and reminders and tweets that we made for you to ensure that you're aware to claim this airdrop before the window is closed, which, by the way, now the Penumbra airdrop window is closed. If you haven't claimed your airdrop, you're not able to claim that anymore. But then if you did that, then you are getting a lot more, because a lot of people have not claimed, they got bored, they're salty, they're just carrying around about airdrops in the first place, or they left the industry because price has gone down and they're all now really salty and really frustrated with crypto. You're probably getting a decent airdrop right there. And here's also the chart for the token distribution. Now, looking at the top IBC projects by volume, we're seeing that Osmosis is still king, but also Noble and DYDX are closely following Celestia as well, over $200 million in monthly IBC volume. Neutron also high up there, Axelar high up there, Cosmos Hub still around $100 million in monthly IBC volume. That is all very nice to see. And like I said, the core product basically of the interchain stack and Cosmos is IBC. And if you are bullish on IBC, and if you're bullish on the interchain philosophy and idea about interoperability, then there's just no way around the king of IBC, which is osmosis, and always has been, right? And probably will be for a bit longer. But we can also see Noble, without a token even, Noble is catching up massively. And also the fact that Noble and DYDX have close synergies. They have also the highest volume pair. Remember also that DYDX staking rewards are paid out in Noble USDC. If you're unfamiliar with Noble, Noble is a native asset issuance chain for primarily USDC. So this is a chain that was also co-developed by Circle. And considering that the news that I shared earlier about Circle's MiCA compliance, this is even more so bullish for Noble itself. And Noble still hasn't publicly stated their kind of security source strategy. Initially, it was thought that they would be using Cosmos Hub shared security, ICS v2, which I think is still on the table, but I also think that they're going to use Ether stake, which is bringing restaked ETH through EigenLayer into Cosmos, launching as a standalone Cosmos chain themselves. So there's a lot of options on the table. I think Noble sooner or later has to make a move, probably sooner than later, but we'll have to see, because right now, yeah, Noble is not economically viable, especially for validators, where one of them was Texito, but I'm going to inform you first. You're going to hear it here first on CryptoCito as soon as there are news. Then we also have some news from our media partners at Interprotocol. The Cosmos stable token liquidity initiative is steadily advancing. IST, the Interstable token, is getting more and more adoption. We also see the proposal that passed recently about getting Atom from the community treasury that is now all in full swing. We're also tracking that here. They now have issued a collateral value of almost $1.2 million, which minted over 266,000 of IST. The next step is now to deploy that as liquidity across Cosmos DeFi, including Silk, stable token of Shade Protocol. So there's going to be more liquidity added there, also on Quasar, on Archway, and some others. And we also have a small teaser here, which, to be honest, I personally don't know much about that. __ tribbles is something that is in the works from the IST team, the Interstable token team, and probably also kind of the Agoric team that's involved there. So we're going to keep track of that and inform you if there's any news around tribbles. Then we also have some big news from Keplr wallet. Keplr is making big moves towards integrating Ethereum and the EVM ecosystem more natively right into their wallet. You can also see here now Base, Optimism, Arbitrum is all visible here on Keplr wallet. So this is also probably a good step into further boosting Cosmos visibility and adoption. Keplr being the main wallet still to date, but Leap Wallet also has caught up massively and filled in a gap, especially for kind of the Airdrop retail community, and also just embedding a lot more features and products right into the wallet. So yeah, the competition is on, but great to see that Keplr has also now integrated EVM chains. Now we have some big news about the ASI token merger. The artificial superintelligence is also now rebranded on CoinGecko, by the way, formerly known as Fetch AI. But now consisting of SingularityNet and Ocean Protocol that are all merging onto Fetch AI, and then Fetch AI gets rebranded into the ASI Alliance. And phase one of the token merger has now commenced. They have now started. You can now merge your tokens right here from the Ethereum mainnet, AGIX liquidity and Ocean liquidity. And the FET token is then going to be converted into ASI with a software upgrade, with a mainnet upgrade that is coming very soon. So if you're one of these token holders on the Ethereum side of things, AGIX or Ocean, then you can now swap and convert your tokens into FET. Then we also have some massive news from Mantra, which, to be honest, I'm very proud of JP and the team, also Prof K, who I, by the way, met already in 2018 when I was doing my exchange year in Shanghai at the time in China. So that was really the year for me when I got really, really deep into crypto after kind of 2017, learning and burning my hands. 2018, then really doing one full year of hardcore research, networking, and just trying to understand everything, also how the industry works. So I've been knowing them for a very long time, and I'm very proud to see this partnership that they have now closed with the UAE real estate giant MAG, to tokenize $500 million in real estate assets. And this is a big, big partnership. We also know for a fact that Mantra is going to be fully Cosmos aligned because they're launching a Cosmos L1, right? Mantra went through a lot of iterations over the years, but now is fully Cosmos aligned, and they're going to launch their Cosmos L1 mainnet in the coming months, probably weeks. I would say months, but yeah, this is great to see that Mantra is now at the forefront of actually tokenizing real world assets, actually tokenizing real estate. And the first one is going to be the Keplr Reserve, which you can also check out here. This is it. It looks absolutely amazing. And this is what they're going to be tokenizing. So you can check that out here. And you can also read the full announcement made by Mantra here on their Twitter. So congratulations, JP and the team. I'm very, very proud. And Mantra, by the way, is also going to be headline sponsor and tokenization track lead this year at Cosmoverse, which is happening in Dubai. So probably Mac will also be there. I hope that they will be there, and maybe also some other real estate projects and companies and construction firms and development firms from the UAE. It would be great to have them all at Cosmoverse. Then we have some more infrastructure related news from Risk Zero that have announced a collaboration with Celestia to build Blockstream Zero, which is a new generation of ZK VM-based Blockstream bridge. This is going to further boost Celestia's adoption of their permissionless DA layer over to Ethereum, Optimism, Bitcoin, Solana, and more. So congratulations on that. And like I said in a recent video as well, I think Celestia, in my view, is a $100 billion protocol this cycle. Obviously, once the bull run comes back, all these kind of things. I also understand in October, we're going to have the first unlock for TIA investors. Some of them are still sitting on massive, massive profits, even now after the dump to $4. But yeah, unlocks are not always necessarily bad for price, right? We've seen it over and over in the past years. Anyways, this is Celestia now moving over to Stargaze and kind of the NFT and gaming ecosystem in Cosmos, because there's a lot that's cooking, a lot that's cooking. We covered recently that Stargaze is going to launch Astra, which is an L2 that is going to be the next step in the evolution of Stargaze. And now they also teased that it was only a matter of time with this quick trailer here, which could potentially indicate that minting of NFTs in Atom, denominated in Atom, is going to happen, considering that this is the kind of Atom logo around here. So this is another thing about Stargaze. Then we also have Stardex, which was announced, and it's going to be Stargaze's native AMM. We also made a full thread about this here from the Citrus Zone account, which is our research arm. We have now Tang and Sepmos, two researchers that are pushing a lot of content here around NFTs, around news, around airdrops, and all these important things that you need to know to be on top of the things as deep as possible in the Cosmos ecosystem with the least efforts possible, right? We also have a newsletter, by the way, which you can find on our website. But anyways, here in this post is all about Stardex and what it implies for the Stargaze exchange, and also Stargaze's new L2 rollup, which is called Astra. So at least as of now, there's also some confusion around the name, and maybe they want to rebrand, but so far it's called Astra. And then we're also sharing the weekly C2 NFT recap, already week number 10, where we're sharing the top sales that are going on, some special NFTs. We're also sharing new NFT launches and more stuff, free stuff that you can claim, and so on and so forth. So this is definitely one that you also have to read and check. Then we also have some news from Saga. I think Saga is now in a pivotal phase where they're entering the next phase of their launch, which includes also the establishment of the gaming ecosystem, right? Saga is the gaming hub in Cosmos, and Saga is now launching all these chainlets one by one, and these chainlets are eventually small games. There are projects themselves. They include NFTs as well, and we already got some NFTs airdropped, for example, from Moonlit Games, where you can also claim these NFTs, which is why you always have to keep the Saga power level over 9,000 tab open, because that's where you claim these airdrops, and you can also use them in game. So definitely want to keep an eye on as well. Then we also have some news from Passage, the Metaverse in Cosmos, Metaverse, gaming, NFTs, right now, very, very cold topics. Nobody really cares about right now. They're all eyes on Bitcoin, on the ETFs and Solana and memes and all these kind of things. But gaming, NFTs, and Metaverse is coming back this cycle. guaranteed, guaranteed. And once these narratives are popping, then you have to be positioned, right? And there's probably no better time to be positioned in those narratives when they are the coldest that they've ever been, right? And when the valuations are absolutely at the bottom, right? They're launching a series of products, and one of them is this one, where you can basically conduct team meetings, right? This is the Google Meets alternative on-chain in a virtual passage world. And this is all how it works and how it looks like. Then we have some other big news. Asteroid Protocol, which is an inscriptions protocol deployed on the Cosmos Hub, has now launched a bridge. We're also very proud with Stacey to be part of that and to be supporting that. And now what you can do is send CFT20 tokens, which are native to the Cosmos Hub, to Neutron, to use it in DEXs, DAOs, money markets, and so on and so forth. And if you want to play around with it, you can do that on asteroidprotocol.io/app/bridge. It's all integrated here. And this is very nice to see. You can trade your favorite CFT20s and your inscriptions on Asteroid. Then we also have a big proposal on the Cosmos Hub. Another big one, after the V17 upgrade that brought us more features and also the launch of interchain security V2, we're now finally seeing the launch of CosmWasm, permission CosmWasm. Smart contract capabilities are coming to the Cosmos Hub in a permissioned manner, which means it's mostly there to deploy CosmWasm for a DAO infrastructure and also for better tooling, and eventually also for kind of the end game of shared security, which might be mesh security and chains securing each other. Now, this is one of the big features that is coming, but also expedited software props, which means decreasing the voting period for software upgrade proposals from 2 weeks to 1 week, and also a fee market integration by Skip Protocol. You can read that proposal right here on chain. It looks like it's going to pass. This is a no-brainer proposal in the first place. So yeah, you can vote on Keplr through your wallet, on Leap, and whichever wallet you're using. But I think this is an easy yes, probably the easiest yes we've ever had. And lastly, we also have some breaking news, which is that Kiichain is proposing to join the Atom Economic Zone and to use interchain security for their brand new modular layer 1 blockchain. And the Kiichain team is actually based out of Colombia, and that is no coincidence because we're also doing Cosmos Medellin together with Kiichain. So Kiichain is our co-host. So for me personally, it's very exciting to see because I love Colombia, obviously. I love Colombian vibes. And to see Colombians joining the Cosmos ecosystem and being Atom aligned is very bullish, probably the most bullish thing we've ever had in Cosmos and the Atom ecosystem. So yeah, this is really cool. And they're focused on emerging markets, right? Not only Colombia, but also all of South America primarily. And yeah, from there, they're also going to expand. But yeah, this is great to see. I also met Alex and team at Cosmos Dubai, which got canceled from the floods, but we still managed to meet up. They also still came to the venue, and it was great to meet them there. And we're going to see them in 2 weeks. By the way, if you are in Medellin on July 26th, then please join this event. I will leave the link in the video description. And if you're around, I would love to see you there. I'm personally going to be there. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope you're not giving up. Of course, this is business as usual. Crypto is very volatile. This is what we sign up for, right? You don't deserve 100x if you can't sit through a 95, 98% correction on your portfolio. And if you can't sit through a flash crash like we've seen, right? And that's all for today. Until very soon, stay safe and be good.